In Maimorim Melukotim, in volume 3, Chelik Gimel, Maimorim Melukot, there is the Maimer, the 46th Maimer, Anuchi Hashem Elikecha, Asher Hotzaeitcha Meretz Mitzrayim, which the Rebbe said, Oir Lehei Sivan, the night of the 5th of Sivan, which was Erev Chag HaShavuos in the year Tovshin Mem Tes. And in the note over here, it says that this was later on published at the same time. And this was published Moitzoich Chag HaShavuos and Shabbos Kodesh Tovshin Mem Tes. So they printed it immediately, basically, that same year. So we'll do the Maimer inside now. Anuchi Hashem Elikecha Asher Hotzaeitcha Meretz Mitzrayim. So this is the beginning of the Aseret HaDivros. Begins with, I am Hashem, your God, that took you out of Egypt. The Pasuk Zeh, Hu Dibur Harishon, the Aseret HaDivros. This verse is the very first verse of the 10 saints, Shenitnu b'matan Torah b'vav Sivan, that were given when the Torah was given on the 6th day of Sivan. And that was La'achrei she'igdimu Yisrael Nasa l'nishma. After the Jews first said Nasa, we'll do, and after followed by Nishma, we will listen. Ubou malachi ashoretz v'kirshru l'kol echad miYisrael. And the angels that served came and tied for each one of the Yidden shnei ksorim, 2 crowns. Echad keneged Nasa, v'echad keneged Nishma. One corresponding to Nasa, that we will do, and one Nishma, so they get 2 crowns for that. And this took place by Chamishi B'Sivan on the 5th day of Sivan. So the Rebbe brings down the question, why does he mention, I am God who took you out of Egypt, and not I am God who created the world? Creation seems to be even a greater wonder than taking out of Egypt. Many of the Maimorim of our Rebbes, our leaders, is brought down. The known question of the great amongst Israel, which is also brought down in the Even Ezra. But isn't the creation of heaven and earth even more wondrous, a greater pella, a greater wonder than the exodus of Egypt? And the reason is because over there, it's a yesh v'yesh, all the miracles, but Shemayim v'oretz is creating something from nothing, so it's on a whole different level. The Yetzias Mitzrayim, when we talk about the exodus of Egypt, although there were many miracles, so miracles were many, still, why choose this particular miracle? It doesn't sufficient, the fact that there were many miracles, it's not a sufficient explanation. Why does the Torah zero in on specifically Ha'itzicha Meretz Mitzrayim, since Mekivan Shegam Koidim Yitzias Mitzrayim, since that even before the exodus of Egypt, we had the 10 plagues, and also after the exodus of Egypt, we had the various different miracles, the Mon, the Kriyas Yamsuf, etc. Maspik in Inyan Hanes. So in addition to that, we still have to understand why the Pasuk uses here Hotzaeitcha Meretz Mitzrayim. In the Inyan Hanes Sushinui Miyesh Liyesh. The idea of a miracle is it changes from one entity to another entity. But creating the heavens and the earth is creating something from nothing. So So creating something from nothing is in a whole different category and level of miracles. In addition to the fact just creating something, a yesh, from nothing is a greater miracle than creating one thing from the other thing. Also the godly power that is in creation, the godly power which is in creation is something from nothing. There is the Pella, what it seems to us, to create something from nothing, which is great wondrous, but the power that goes in to creating Yesh Me'ayin is a more elevated power. Ki Yedua, as it's known, Shebriya Yesh Me'ayin, creating something from nothing, Hirak B'koyach Ha'atzmus, that is only within the power of Atzmus, Shemitziusei Me'atzmusei, who his existence comes from no one else but from himself. He made himself. There is nothing before him, nothing that makes him so. But this is the highest level, the highest form of godliness, of Atzmus, the essence of the Ein Sof. And the Rebbe adds to the bracket, V'yesh leimer d'zesha metzias d'yesha nivrahi metzias amiti. Why is the existence and the entity of the created Yesh a true entity, even though it seems maybe it's not even a true entity, because he has been brought in existence from Atzmus, which is Yesh Ha'amiti. So that's why the person himself is also a true Metzias. But so since it's all greater, the idea of the Shemayim va'aretz, so why does he say that I am God who took you out of Egypt? He should have seemingly said that I created the heavens and the earth. So that needs to be explained. So besides within Eretz Mitzrayim, why are we zeroing only on Eretz Mitzrayim? When there was other miracles, but specifically the question is, why doesn't it say that I created Shemayim v'Oretz, which is both a greater wonder, and it also requires the Atzmus Ein Sof to do that. And here we choose to say Dafke Tzisicha Eretz Mitzrayim, and not that I've created the Shemayim v'Oretz. Based, the Rebbe adds to the question that it also seems like there is a inherent connection between Torah and the creation of the world, more than from the giving of the Torah to Yetzias Mitzrayim, because one of the ideas of Matan Torah is the continuous Yu Banecho Kichadoshim, the energy that we got from Matan Torah to every day have the power of Lamer, Vaidabras Hashem, Lamer. That's the continuous creation, the same as in the creation of Shemayim v'Oretz, which is continuous. So it seems like B'riyas Shemayim v'Oretz should have a more closer connection to Matan Torah rather than Yetzias Mitzrayim. Base, yes, l'hoisiv, and we can add the Zesha l'chayra havele l'meimer asher barasi. Shemayim v'Oretz. This that we're saying that he should have said Shemayim v'Oretz who gam lifi shebriyas Shemayim v'Oretz u'matan Torah, because creating of the Shemayim, of the heavens and the earth, and matan Torah, which is the Anuchi Hashem Elikecho Apsira the matan Torah, and it means because Anuchi Hashem Elikecho, that's the opening words for matan Torah. So that is Matan Torah. We're saying Anuchi Hashem Elikecha. Shayochim Zelazeh are connected. Creation of the world, Shemayim v'Oretz, is connected to Matan Torah, which Anuchi Hashem Elikecha Asher Tzisicha should have said Asher Barasi L'chayra. The B'riyas Shemayim v'Oretz mischadeshes b'chol rega v'rega. The creation of the heavens and the earth, that is renewed every single moment. So every moment of after creation, there is a renewal of the divine energy that creates the world. So, Keteres Baal Shem Tov, as the teaching of the Baal Shem Tov ala Posik, on the verse, Le'olam havaya dvorcha nitzav b'shamayim. Hashem, your word is always in the heavens. So, what is the Baal Shem Tov explain? What does it mean that the word of Hashem is always in the heavens? So he explained that it is the Dvar Havaya that created the Shamayim, continuously stays in the Shamayim to revitalize and create the Shamayim. Huvar b'sever Tanya Kadisha. It's brought down in the holy book of Tanya. Shekoyach haliki mahavet tomid es hanivra ma'ayin liyesh. That there is a godly power that constantly brings into being that created being from in ex nihilo into existence, into a yesh, ma'ayin liyesh. So we see that the world is created in a way that it's constantly ma'ayin liyesh. Umikivon shebriya v'isavos yesh ma'ayin u'bekoyach atzmus. We know that the creation, to create and to bring about an entity from nothing, from ex nihilo, to bring it into becoming an entity, he bekoyach atzmus. That is with the power of the atzmus. So move on. So therefore, it's understood that the creation that takes place every instant and instant, it's mamish an actual creation bringing into an entity from nothing, and that comes from the atzmus. So that is very similar to the way it's in Torah. Similarly, it's by Torah. The Torah was given and it extends from the level of atzmus. That's what we say, Anuchi. The level of Anuchi represents Mishanochi, which is the level of atzmus, whoever I. And the way it comes from the atzmus, that takes place every instant. Like the pasuk says, Noisen HaTorah Loshen Hoiva. We don't say in the bracha, Baruch Atah Nosan, you gave the Torah, but give the Torah. Means presently, Loshen Hoiva. Because the Hamshocha of Torah from Atzmus is all the time. That's why our sages of blessed memory tell us, every day it should be like new. Not some places it says kichadoshim, but here it says chadoshim, which means it should be new, actually new. Chadoshim mamish new. So that's connected to the Torah. Now, where does this power of atzmus come into the Torah that everything should be like new? The power for this, that every day should be like new, that it should be new, is nitim b'matan Torah. That has been given by Matan Torah. The Eibishter gave us them, then the Amshochas ha'atzmus, so that Torah will be new all the time. As it's known, the interpretation of the verse by Daber Elikim as Kol Hadvorim Ha'ila Lemer. The pasuk that begins with the Aseres Hadibros, it says that Elikim spoke all these words, Lemer, to say. Normally, Lemer means to say it over later on. If Hashem says to Moshe, Lemer, that he should go and say to the Bnei Yisrael. But since all the people were there at Matan Torah, who is there to say it over to? So this is what's explained. But Shapirush, the Tevas Lamer b'posuk zeh, the meaning of Lamer in this pasuk, hu loy Lamer la'acherim. It doesn't mean to say to others, call lamer mikra, just as all the other lamers in the psukim. Shaharei neshama is called Yisrael Hoyu b'Maimed Har Sinai, because the souls of the entire Jewish people were at that standing of Mount Sinai, Mahar Sinai, v'shomu hadibros meHakodesh Baruch Hu ma'atzmai, and they heard the sayings from HaKadosh Baruch Hu themselves. They don't need anybody to lamer. Sometimes you even say lamer to the next generation. But in this case, all Jewish soul, there was nobody not there. So who is this the lamer to say over? So what does it mean? So Pirush lamer kanhu, what is the meaning here? Shebishas matan Torah, that during Matan Torah, at the time of Niten HaKoyach L'Kol Echad V'Echad MiYisrael, Shebechol HaDoros, that it's been given that power to each and every one of the Jewish people of all generations to follow, Leimer es Kol HaDvorim Ha'ela, to say all these words, not only Dvorim Ha'ela literally, which would mean that Seres HaDibros, Shekoy, as the Rebbe adds in the parentheses, Gam Al Kol HaTorah Kulo. So there is accomplished at Matan Torah that there should be Leimer all the Torah to say. That means, what does it mean, Leimer to say? Shelimud HaTorah shelo yiyeh ba'ofen the Leimer, that his study of Torah is in a way of lamer, which means she'omer hadvorim she'hakodesh baruch hu omer achshav, to say what Hashem is saying now. When you're learning any part of Torah, you're basically repeating that which Hashem is saying now. Just as by Matan Torah was Hashem saying these words of the Aseres HaDibros, so is always lamer that Hashem keeps on saying it, and whenever we learn Torah, it's Hashem saying it, and we are just saying over what Hashem is saying. And that's why, because it's always like the time of Matan Torah, we understand why the sages tell us, Shalachain, for that reason, there has to be that proper respect for Torah, because it's not just what you're learning Torah, it's the Eibishter, it's the experience of Matan Torah. That's why we say, Ma'ala halon be'emo be'iro be'reses u'biziyah. Just like then, when they actually received the Torah, there was awe, there was fear, it was trembling, there was sweat. Afkan, that means the level of respect was there, needs to be all the time when we learn Torah. So so based on this, mudgesh yoser hashaychus the inyan ha'izchachus l'matan Torah. So therefore, according to this, it's further emphasized the connection of the renewal of Matan Torah, that Matan Torah always keeps on going on all the time. Kibon shehakoyach al zeh sheyu beinecha chadoshim. Since the power that is for this, that it should be in your eyes like new, Nitten b'Matan Torah has been given to Matan Torah. At Matan Torah, so therefore Matan Torah seems to be a time when we should celebrate things that are constantly renewed, which the power was given for Torah at Matan Torah. Why don't we celebrate at the same time Brias Shemayim Va'aretz, which is constantly renewed? The Rebbe wants to say the fact that we ask the question, it's not only a question, that means that it actually stays. So the fact that it should have, it actually does in a way. Gimel. Based on what is known, even when you ask a question in Torah, that too is a Torah. Torah semes, it becomes the true Torah. So it means that it's true, even though it's only a question. Move on. So it's understood. This that was brought down in many Maimorim. That the beginning of Matan Torah should have been with the creation of Shemayim Va'aretz. This is actually according to the truth. It's Take starts with B'riyas Shemayim Va'aretz. The noise of Lazeh, in addition to the fact it does start, the Torah starts with B'riyas Shemayim Va'aretz. Shas Cholas, Kol ha-Torah hi Bereshis bara Elokim es hashamayim v'ha'aretz. That all the Torah begins with, in the beginning, Hashem created Shemayim v'Aretz. So that means that Torah does start, maybe not the Aseres HaDibros, but all of Torah does start with Bereshis bara Elokim es Shemayim v'ha'aretz. V'chein hascholas Mishnah Torah laHarambam. Same thing when you look in the beginning of the Mishnah Torah, that the Rambam wrote, it starts off Leido sheyesh shom motzui rishon, that he says the first mitzvah is to know that there is the first existence, which is Hashem. V'hu mamtzi kol nimtzo. He is the one that brings into existence anything that exists. And v'chol hanimtzoim, and everything that is exists, they were only found, or came into being from the real being of Hashem. So everything comes from Hashem. And that would be the Bereshis bara, the beginning, everything comes from Hashem. The Rebbe says to add more to this, the Mishnah Torah Mevuar, and the Rebbe wants to show that in the Mishnah Torah, there is two aspects. In the Chumash, it talks just about creation, that Hashem creates it. But in Chassidus, we add to it that it comes from the true entity, which gives it continuous life. And that's also hinted in more precisely in the wording of the Rambam. Let's see. Because Lahaisiv, the Rebbe says, the Mishnah Torah, in the beginning of Mishnah Torah, Mavur explains, not just creation in general, as in the beginning of the written Torah, which just talks about creation, Elogam, but in the Rambam, as we just quoted, first he says that he's mamtzi everything, and then he says further that all that are found were found from his true existence. Hainu, which means, what does it mean? Me'amita simotze, from the true, means from the Yeshua Amiti. Hainu sha'abriya, he bekoyach ha'atzmus Yeshua Amiti. That means that creation comes from the power of Atzmus, which is the true Yesh. V'chein, that's one point. Sha'abriya hi bechol rega v'rega. Also, the other point, that creation comes every instant and instant. As the Rambam writes in the continuation over there, the im yale al hadas shehu ein imotzu ein davar achar yochel lihimotzes. If it enters your mind that he is not found, then nothing else can be found. So what does the Rambam mean? Shakavona bazahi. The intent here is shagam la'acharei shenimtzu hanimtzoi. What he's adding to what he said before is that even after those that were created came into creation, if he is not found in them, means he's not in them, the bottle mitziusam, this would bring their existence to cease, to become void, to null. Bottle, the Shnei Inyonim Elu Shebetoidas HaChasidus, these 2 points that the Rebbe brings now, which the Chasidus teaches us, which is in addition just that Hashem created everything, is. What are the 2 points? First of all, Sha'abriye Bekoyach HaAtzmus, it comes with the power of the Atzmus, that's Ambiti Simotzei. And also b'shabriye b'chol rega, and that it's constantly lo yemotzi. If not, it means kosvam Rambam the signin da halacha. The Rambam writes it in the style of halacha, but it's basically the same point that is brought down in Chassidus. So hinei noisef lozeh. So in one hand, creation of the world is actually the beginning of the Torah. Bereshis bara Elokim. And this is also the beginning of the Rambam. But in addition to that, also, this is the Haskol of the Chumash, but also in Matan Torah, there is Briyas Shemayim Voritz. The Rebbe says a question In Torah is also Torah. Since the Maimorim asked that it should have said Bria Shemayim V'Aretz, it means there is Bria Shemayim V'Aretz. But where is it? Elo she'inyan zeh hu b'chelik the Torah Shabal Peh, the post-Kedushin, the Matan Torah. That idea of Bria Shemayim V'Aretz is in the section of the oral Torah of the first parsik of Matan Torah, which is Hapirush the Torah Shebiksav. That's the interpretation that explains Torah Shebiksav. So, when we explain Bria Shemayim V'Aretz as we do, why does it not say Bria Shemayim V'Aretz? So that means that we're actually bringing in the Bria Shemayim V'Aretz, like trying to explain why it doesn't say. That alone gives you the idea of Bria Shemayim V'Aretz in the beginning, not in the Ksav, but in the oral Torah. And that's why this question was asked, to bring it into the oral Torah. We can say the explanation of this, when a person learns Torah in a way that Torah is always new in his eyes, megalim gam achidush behabriya, then we also reveal that novelty, that creation, that new, that special powers in creation, mischadeshes bechol rega ma'ayin liyash, that it becomes anew every instant ma'ayin liyash. V'al pi hamuva li'il, and based on the previous brought down, the tevas leimer shebehascholas matan Torah, that the word of leimer, by damer eshkol dvorim leimer, that is what gives us the power, so that everything should be like new. That way you reveal the novelty of creation. So this is all comes from the pasuk of Leimer that gives the power for Chadoshim, and then later on we create the Chiddush Neburim. Harei shebehascholas the Matan Torah oid lifnei aseres hadibros. So right in the beginning of Matan Torah, even before we start saying the 10 saying, yesh beremes hakolponim, there is at least the hint in the Chiddush Abriya of the novelty of Bria, because these questions and with the ideas that in Bria and the Chadoshim, and that comes through the Lamer, that's what we're fitting. So we're already bringing in the idea of Bria Shemayim V'Aretz in the Torah Shebiksav on the pasuk of the beginning before Daseres Hadibros. Elosh Afal Pikein, notwithstanding that we're discussing the connection and the relevance and the Chiddush of the Torah and creation, what is the actual, in the revealed way, the opening of Torah Shebiksav? That is actually that Hashem took us out of Eretz Mitzrayim, and not the Bria Shemayim V'Aretz. Because the intent of creation of the world and of the giving of the Torah is because of Yidden. And that is Azei Zolun Durgen Ha'inyan de Mitzrayim, that they should go through the subject of Egypt, to go through the ideas of going through, but what is Mitzrayim? Meloshun Meitzer Ugvul. You go through these limitations, the boundaries. So that they should go out from all of their limitations and all of their boundaries, all of their restrictions. I took you out, take you out from Meretz Mitzrayim. So this is negayah to a Yid to take him out from Meretz Mitzrayim. Even from the house of slavery, if he's slave. sheyiyu mushloli ma'avdus lebosor vadom ve'ezushi, so that they should be negated from any type of servitude to a human being on any level. Kili b'nei Yisrael avodim, because the b'nei Yisrael are servants to me, which is li, means la'atzmus umahus, that is to the essence and who Hashem himself. So nobody can really put them to slavery, become into slavery, because they're always already slaves of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Atzim Hus. Ushtari Koidem, Hashem's documentation of acquiring the Yid comes first. So we need to discuss how it relates not just to the world, but specifically to the Yidden to go through from the Eretz Mitzrayim. And we can tie this to the idea that the Torah was given after the Yidden introduced first, and they said Nasa before we will do it. Even though the revelation of the giving of the Torah came from above, we needed the Yidden to do Nasa and Ishma, even though the Torah was given by Hashem. The Eibishter says he is making the first step to come down from the Shemaim to the Eretz. Still, still you needed the introduction of Nasa before Nishma, which is habitul lebal harotze, that is to subjugation to the master of the will. Nishma means you listen to the mitzvahs. That's a bittul to the specific commandment. That's the bittul harotz, the rotze. Nase means we will do whatever the master says. That's the bittul bal rotze. And specifically through this, the Torah was given and it extended from Atzmus. Koyach, Koilul Gam Hanesinas Koyach, Shahoye B'matan Torah, which includes also the power that was given B'matan Torah, Lamer, to keep on saying, repeating, Kenal, Shebechol Yom Yu Beinecho Chadoshim, that every day the Torah should be new. That came through that bittul to the Baal HaRotzin, touched Atzmus, and then the Torah was given from the Atzmus, and then this allows that every day, Lamer, that the Eibishter gives us the Torah continuously, the new Torah constantly. Dalet. These days, when they're mentioned, they're accomplished. That every year and year, they repeat and they extend those matters as they were the very first time. Not only do they repeat themselves, every year they are on a higher level. The Mailim B'Kodesh, because we always keep on going up in holiness. So that means that we repeat and even greater level than it was in the beginning, because we always elevate the Kodesh. Since all matters hinge on our action, our service, and therefore, the whole shon every year, you have to add and to go up in holiness, also in the preparation for the giving of the Torah. To add in the idea of Vayichan, which is said in a singular way, like one man with one heart that was on Rosh Chodesh Sivan, that needs to be prepared and elevated to work on that, especially on Rosh Chodesh was that idea of one heart and one mind. Likewise, in the preparations that took place following Rosh Chodesh Sivan, Shemiyad achar Rosh Chodesh hischil Moshe asik imohem be'inyan Kabbalah Satorah. As soon as they came over there on Rosh Chodesh to the front of Har Sinai, so immediately Moshe Rabbeinu began to occupy himself with the Yidden, with Matan Torah, as the Shulchan Aruch of the Alter Rebbe brings down in detail. Alachas kama v'kama, and for sure more b'hachone d'akdomas nasa l'nishma. And certainly in the preparation of nasa coming before nishma. Shehi ha'achone ha'ikris l'matan Torah. That is the main preparation, matan Torah, that to say nasa before nishma. Can move on gamizeh. That's also understood from the fact shachone zu d'akdomas nasa l'mishma. When was that preparation done, in which they said nasa before nishma? Ibechamishi b'Sivan. That's on the 5th day of Sivan, which is Erev Shel Shishi b'Sivan shebei nitna haTorah. That's the evening of the 6th of Sivan, in which the Torah was given. So that was the Erev, the eve of. So that means that Nasa Nishma was the final preparation. That means that's the main preparation. So what does it mean to us to prepare with that? And that is that during the day we shall reflect in the idea of Hagdomas Nasa Nishma, of Nasa coming before Nishma. His bonenus hamas imo maybe the poil, a proper reflection which brings into actuality. That what should we reflect? We should reflect something which will motivate us to do Shabachol inyan da'avodas Hashem, that in every aspect of the service of Hashem, tzarich l'chol l'reish l'kaimei b'poyel. The first thing you need to actually do it, to fulfill it in actual dinasim. Ula'achar is there. Only after the achar is a lahovinus ha'inyan b'chabad shaloi, to understand this idea in his intellect, which is the idea of nishma. Even though this day we're talking about these reflections, but it's a busy time. It's the 5th day of Sivan, who Erev Yom Tov. It's Erev Yom Tov. Sheyeshne beikamo tirdes da'achonis tzorich hachag, that has many preoccupations and distractions, because you got to prepare for the Yom Tov. So it's known, the teaching of my father-in-law, the Rebbe, that on the Yom Tov Shavuos, and similar to what he said about Shavuos itself, similar to that is also on the Erev, and that is similar to Yom Tov already. It's Erev, ein shlita kol kach. The other side doesn't have so much control. That's why this is a very fitting time, to do everything for the benefit of the study of Torah and the service of Hashem. We'll move on b'pashtus, and this is obviously understood. The noisef lahachonis anal, that in addition to the preparations that we talked about above, which belong and connect to the days that are before Shavuos, maschil mirish chodesh Sivan, to start chodesh Sivan, tzorich liyos, there needs to be a mekolshkin, that's a foratory, ishtadlus miyuchedes b'negeya lehoinyonim hashayochim l'chag HaShavuos atzmei, a special effort as it relates to the matters that are connected to Shavuos itself. Maschil ma'ishtadlus beginning with the effort Shekol Echad Ve'echad MiYisrael, that each and every one of the Jewish people, Anoshim, Noshim, Betap, men, women, and children, Yiyu Beveis HaKnesses Be'eis Kriyas Haseres Hadibris, should be in the shul at the time they read the 10 sayings. So we need to put the effort in for Shavuos itself to make sure that everybody should be in the shul during the reading of the 10 sayings. As spoken many times. The fact that every year during the Shavuos festival, the Torah has been giving anew. You get the Torah anew. It's given anew. Similar to the way it was in the very first time by Matan Torah. That mainly comes revealed, that part of Matan Torah is mainly in the reading of the 10 sayings. As our sages of blessed memory say, Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu liYisrael, Asher Kadosh Baruch Hu says to the B'ni, Bonai, my children, Hayu koidim es haparsha azu b'chol shana. Go ahead and read this portion every year. V'animala aleichem, and I will consider it for you, ki la'atem ba'imdim lifnei har Sinai, as if you are standing before Mount Sinai, mekablim nes haTorah, and receiving the Torah. Shalochein, and therefore, tzorich lishmoya parsha zu. We need to listen to this portion, be'emo b'yiro v'chulu, with awe and with fear, as if we're standing in front of Mount Sinai. This is also some of the reasons and the great effort that all Jewish people, also the very little boys and girls, they should be in shul when we read the 10 sayings, as spoken many times at length. And the Rebbe says to add, this effort that the little children should be in the shul, when we read the 10 sayings, that also is connected to the preparation that it is our children that guarantee us. So sheyesh loymar, we can add and we can say, when it says Ervim is translated, they guarantee, but we can say that it also includes shekoilul gama pirush, that it also includes the meaning, the interpretation, the Ervim Meloshin Haruvas, or Meloshin of a mixture, Shekol Yisrael Muravim Zeh, that all Yidden are intermixed one with another. And another pirush, Ervim Meloshin Arevus Umesikus, comes from the Loshin Orev, that it's sweet and pleasant. Shekol Yisrael Arevim Umsukim Zeh, that all Yidden are sweet and connected one with another. And similar to this, make good decisions to add in the study of Torah, Nigla the Torah, Pnimis HaTorah, the revealed part of Torah and the inner Torah. To the extent that the well springs will be spread to the outside. Koilo, Gam, it also includes Hayishtadlus, the efforts, the Argin Kinusi Torah, to organize Torah assemblies, the Isru Chag HaShavuos, on the Isru, the day that follows Yom Tov Shavuos, Man Matan Teresenu, the time of the Torah, or the days that are close to it. Like I said earlier, that every year you need to add in all of these matters, with more carrying, more force, with more strength. Both, whether we're talking about as it connects to the preparations that are connected to the days that come before the time of Matan Torah. Ve'hem b'negeya lachlotes tevish v'hishtadlus, and also as it relates to the good decisions, the effort b'negeya le'hinyonim asher yochim lizman Matan Torah, with regards to the matters that are connected to the time of Matan Torah, say, Yomim Shalachrav, in the days that follow. Leila said before, that every year you need to add Matan Torah, in the preparation Matan Torah, befrat especially preparing yourself of Nasa before Nishma be'erev Chag HaShavuos, before Shavuos. And this is the addition that I've said, more and more. And through this, also the idea of Matan Torah, then the giving of the Torah, receiving of the Torah Shavuos on the festival, it's on a much higher level, until incomparably higher, to the extent every year, calling Yonim Elu, all these in Yonim, Matan Torah v'Kabbalas HaTorah, the giving of the Torah and the receiving of the Torah, and also the preparation for this, and Kadoshim Mamish actually knew. Befrat Bishono Zu, Tovshin Memtes, especially this year, which is the year of the Maimer Tovshin Memtes, which is Erev Shnas Tovshin Nun, which is the eve of the year Tovshin Nun. Sheyashloima Remes Rosh Tevis. We could say the hint for the Rosh Tevis of Tovshin Nun is the Hei Shnas Nisim. It should be a year of miracles. Begam B'Shon Zu, and also this year, which is only Tovshin Memtes, but Erev Tovshin Nun, it's on the eve of Tovshin. Amim Kvar Mahanisim B'Tovshin Nun. We are already getting a taste from the miracle in Tovshin Nun. So this year particularly needs to be the preparation with more strength and with more force and more strength. Through this addition, every year and year in the preparation of Matan Torah, in the Matan Torah, this adds to the idea of Matan Torah. To an addition that is uncomparable, and it's a way, it's like a novelty. Even though this is really true every day, that Matan Torah has to be a novelty. This is during the duration of the entire year. Base, base. Nevertheless, but the main idea of Matan Torah in this one new way, Matan Torah said, is during the festival of Shavuos, the time the Torah was given. Hey, just as when the Torah was given the very first time, that became a force in the existence of the world. Chazal, as our sages of blessed memory say, Allah Pasuk on the verse, Eretz Yora B'Shakota, the earth was fearful and it relaxed. So the Gemara says, the Chazal tell us, Sha'ad Yom Hashvi B'Sivan, till the 6th day of Sivan, Eretz Yora, the earth was shaky, scary. Ubayom Hashishi B'Sivan, but on the 6th day of Sivan, Yisrael Kibla Satoira, when the Yidden received the Torah, Shakota, it relaxed, because it was waiting for the Yidden to receive the Torah, because up till then, we didn't know if the Torah is going to have an everlasting effect, but when it came out in Torah, it became Shakota, it relaxed. And this is true every year and year. By adding in the giving of the Torah. and receiving of the Torah. As the Rebbe talked before, there should be additional in the preparations. Nasis at Sofa, that brings about an addition in the force of the existence of the world. Similar to what we said before in Siv Gimel, from the year that through the occupation in Torah, when we learn it in a way that it's Chadoshim, then we reveal also the novelty which exists in the world, that he and the world is constantly renewed every instant from ex nihilo to existence with the power of Atzma. The yesh loymar she'inyan zeh, we can say this idea, gilu koyach ha'aliki shemahabes ha'ilum ma'ayin yesh, revealing the godly power, which is by Matan Torah, that or by learning Torah Kechadoshim, that reveals the godly power in the world, shemahabes ha'ilum ma'ayin yesh, that creates the world from ex nihilo to existence, who are mitis ha'inyan d'shakota. That's the true idea of relax, because you reveal the godly koyach which is in the world. Yes, la'isiv. Yes, la'isiv. So ba'al pizeh, yes, la'isiv. Since we're talking about making the world shakota, to relax, so this would include all matters on which the world stands on. This that every year we need to add in the preparation for Matan Torah, receiving the Torah. This also includes in it also the addition the Gimul Ha'amudim Shaleim Ha'ilam Oimed, the three pillars on which the world is standing, because we're trying to accomplish the Shokota that took place on Vav Sivan, which is through keeping the Oilam, which is standing on the three pillars, Torah, Avodah, Ugemilas Chasodim. Ubefrat, especially B'Tzedakah. Especially the tzedakah. Why tzedakah especially? In addition, the Neisuk Lazeh She'echad Hamudim De'Ha'ilam. It's one of the three pillars. Gemilas Chasodim, that's tzedakah. Ugam Klolus Kol HaTorah. That also is the generality of all of Torah. Bur b'Torah Dibra Maschil B'Chodesh HaShlishi, as explained in the Maimer in Torah B'Chodesh HaShlishi. Noisef al Hasim Kenog, in addition to the conclusion, as is the tradition, the custom, to make everyone as an agent to the mitzvah tzedakah. The Rebbe gives everybody tzedakah to be his agent to give tzedakah. In addition to normally all the time tzarich liyas be'erev chag hashavuos. The Eva Chag HaShavuos, Erev Zman Matan Torah, before the time Matan Torah Seinu, Zman Matan Torah Seinu, Ha'Sofa Miyuchedes B'Nisina Tzedakah, a special edition in giving of tzedakah. Va'ad, to the extension, Nisina Tzedakah B'Yem Zeh, that giving tzedakah on this day, Tia Ba'ifun Shel Psicha Chadosh, this will be just like a new opening, a brand new opening, more than ever before. Through this opening also brings an addition, which also brings in the flow from Hashem's open hand. We open, and from our hands that we open up, giving more, the Eibishter gives us miyodeh hapsucha. Hamleya hapsucha Kedosha Baruch, his open, holy, and wide hand in the Geilachol and Yonim, as it's relates to all matters, especially in the subject of Matan Torah, starting from the first saying, Anuchi goymer asher yitzisichom me'eretz Mitzrayim, the first of the dibur, I took you out of Egypt. We go out from all the limitations, all the boundaries, and all the limitations. And we become one with the giver of the Torah. And this idea, to go out of the boundaries, limitation, as it's the neshama, not separate, has to leave the body, but as it is dressed up in the guf, for long days and good years, a healthy body and a healthy soul. Through studying the revealed part of Torah, which is Haguf the Torah, the inner part of Torah, which is Nishmosa, the Raisa, the soul of Torah. Sheshneim Heim Torah Achas, they're both one Torah. Nase Gam Haguf Neshama Shel Odom Halev Metzias Achas. So also the body and soul of the person studying becomes one entity. The guf and the neshama, that's like the pnimis and the nigla, the Torah, bring about that the body and the soul of the study learns, it becomes one entity. Metzias she'echadim anochi, a metzias which is one with anochi noisen haTorah. Va'idei shemachrizim al yonim elu b'bayis godel, by advertising, announcing this in the big home, which is godel, as the Gemara says, bayis shemegadlim b'Torah. And also megadlim loy bayis shemegadlim b'Tfilah, and the Tfilah is the Gemara and the Megillah, and the Rebbe explains it also that by learning Torah, the house becomes a bayis godel. The tefillah he bakoshos kol tzrachov. What is the tefillah? Bayis godel of tefillah who bakoshos kol tzrachov, asking for all of his needs. Hein tzrachov baruchim, hein tzrachov agash. Whether it's the physical need, spiritual needs, or the physical needs. That adds even more in all of the above by this announcement in Amokum Torah and Amokum Tefillah, which we're asking for Hashem, that what HaKadosh Baruch Hu Oizer L'Kayim is Kol HaAchlotes. Hashem helps us to fulfill all of our decisions. Shem Gam Bakoshu Tefillah, which are also a request and a prayer, the Hachonas L'Matan Torah, the preparation Matan Torah. Begam and Malay Ba'abokoshes, and that's the preparation Matan Torah. Also fulfills the request B'Negeya Lamshochas the Matan Torah, to bring down a Matan Torah b'Fatsh and Mitzrayim b'Bayis Megadlim by Torah. And you are in a place in which we raise Torah study. Shamshochas HaTorah Tia b'Shleimus u'Beivon Chodesh L'Gamri Kanal. The Torah should be brought down in a complete way, in a totally new way. To the extent a new Torah will come from me, but the true and complete redemption through our righteous Mashiach. I have to add what is Matan Torah? To bring the Torah in here in this world. In a way, it's not in the heavens. As our sages of blessed memory tell us, that our Kadosh Baruch Hu says to the angels that serve him, I and you will go to the court below. So that means that the Torah is the here below, and Hashem goes together with the angels to hear what the Yidden say about Pizeh. So based on this, when the Yidden below rule, a ruling of the opinion of the Torah according to Torah, that the time of redemption has arrived. Because all of the ends when Mashiach is supposed to come have already been completed, as brought down in the Gemara in Sanhedrin. the Yisrael Kvaros Tshuva and the Yidden already did Shuva, as the Rebbe says that the Frierdiker Rebbe ruled in the Hora 56 that when a Yid does a krechts, sai, that's already a great level of Teshuvah. Kain Yokum B'Tikev B'Yad Bo Agula, Seir should be fulfilled, and immediately the Geula, right away, the Geula comes. Voll. L'hoisiv, the Rebbe says to add, Shechag HaShavua is Shaykh LaMoshe Rabbeinu. Yom Tov Shavuos is connected to Moshe Rabbeinu. The Moshe Kibul Torah Sinai, because Moshe is the one that received the Torah from Sinai, Mesora Ad LaAnshe Knesses HaKadolah, till the men of the great gathering, Shahim Omru Hamidu Talmidim Harba. They said, raise many students. Shabazet Talmidim Harba. When they say many Talmidim, Nichlol Kolechod Mi Yisrael, Anoshim Noshim Betab. This includes everybody of the Jewish people. They are all the Talmidim. Those are all the Talmidim that Moshe Rabbeinu said, gave to the Anshe Knesset HaGdolah, and the men, women, and children are those Talmidim. V'yesh loymar, the Rebbe says in the bracket, the Pirush Hamidu Talmidim Harbe, that each one of the Talmidim Harbe, Loshen Hamidu, stand up, make him into a pillar. Ugam k'shel kol echad me'atalmidim. Each one of the students, kol echad mi'Yisrael, which includes every Jew, Nasa Amud, becomes a pillar. Sha'al yodim miskaimim kol gimel hamudim shaleim ha'olam oimed. That on him, through him, that sustains all the three pillars that the world stands of. Those are all the students of comes from Moshe. Chag HaShavuos is also, in addition to Moshe, Shaykh LeDavid HaMelech u'Baal Shem Tov, has a connection to David and the Baal Shem Tov. Sheyom HaYilula Shalahem, because their day of passing the Hilula day is on Chag HaShavuos, Chag HaShavuos. Since the concept that the world is created constantly, the renewal of creation, that is the Baal Shem Tov's interpretation al haposik on the verse of La'olam Havaya Dvorcha Nitzav Hashemayim. Shem Tov said it's on the verse Hashem's word is always in the heaven. Posik b'Tehillim, and this is a posik b'Tehillim Shenemar al Dei David the Zemiris Yisrael, which was said by David, the sweet singer of the Yidden, Lachain, Yemei Chag HaShavuos, the days of festival of Shavuos, say Misugolim B'Yichud. They are specifically Mesugol, auspicious. The limit of Avodas HaTorah, to learn and disseminating Torah. Often that Hamidu Talmidim Harbe, in a way of raising many students. And the study and the spreading should be every day. For sure, every year. You, often, the Mailim B'Kodesh should be in a way of going higher in holiness, until in a way of a novelty. Because through the novelty of Torah, that revealed the novelty of creation. That all created beings are renewed from ayin to yesh every instance. The same thing is on the other way. By learning, that is through learning, and mechadish in Torah is being mechadish in the Bria. The same thing is when we learn and disseminate our inyan idea, the chidush habriya b'chol rega, of the novelty of creation every instance. That is the one of the main principles, ideas of the teaching of Chassidus. That way we bring close and we hasten the future redemption. Then there will be the true novelty in Torah. Torah chadosha miti tzeitzei, a new chadosha will come from me. And we can say the zeu gam hakesher l'ascholas haTorah v'aschola dematan Torah. Also, that tie between the beginning of the Torah from Reshis Bara with the Schola of Matan Torah by David Elikim. The Schola is Torah Reshis Bara Elikim as Shemayim Besaretz. Torah begins with Reshis Bara Elikim Shemayim Besaretz, and that leads you by David Elikim as Schola Advorim Goimer La Schola Matan Torah, brings you, because the Rebbe said that through the teaching of Chassidus about Brias Ha'olam, you also come to the Mitzvah Chiddush B'Torah, Torah Chadosha. That's why the connection. First, we start with Bereshis Bara, Elokim Shemayim V'Aretz, and then you come by Daber Elokim Eskol Advorim Eila Goimer La Schola the Matan Torah, beginning of Matan Torah. Ankhi Hashem Alikecha Asher Hutzaeitך Me'eretz Mitzrayim. And I am Hashem Elokecha Tegam Mitzrayim Shebazeh Nichlol Gam Geula Ha'asida Tegemei Tzeitzcha Me'eretz Mitzrayim Al and influence. So when we say it says Mitzrayim, the Rebbe says the Chadosha, Torah Chadosha, which will be the Gilu Torah's Mashiach, but this is included, the Tzeitzcha Me'eretz Mitzrayim, this includes the Geula Hasidah, the Kimei Tzeitzcha Me'eretz Mitzrayim, but then influence, as the day you went out of Egypt, I will show you wonders. Al Derech Zehu Mishnah Torah LaHarambam, similarly also in the Mishnah Rambam Shas Choleis, Sheyesh Shom Motzi Rishon, that there is the one who is found, the first one, that he finds and brings about everything that is found. And everything that is found from the heavens to the earth and everything in between, they did not come into existence only from his true existence. The Rebbe says in the brackets, when he says from the heavens and the earth and what's in between, in the Rambam's beginning is similar to the beginning of the Chumash. We say Es HaShamayim ve'esoretz. Es HaShamayim is l'rabis tzva HaShamayim. That includes the armies, everything that's in the heaven. Ve'es ha'oretz l'rabis tzva, that includes all the armies of the earth, meaning everything included. V'zeh boim lasim the Mishnah Torah. And that leads you, brings you to the end of Mishnah Torah, Inyan HaGeula, the idea of redemption, Ba'ad La'asim Ba'choisim the Mishnah Torah, till the actual end and the conclusion of Mishnah Torah. Kimola Ha'oretz Deyes Havaya Kaimayim Layom L'chasim, the world is filled with knowledge of Hashem as water covers the ocean. Zayin Ba'idei Maseinu Ba'vedesenu, through our work and service. Especially preparing ourselves for the giving the Torah, receiving the Torah, especially after we have already concluded the counting of the Omer. And we have sorted out all the midas, from chesed to malchus. The Sfiras HaOmer hi achona l'matan Torah. It prepares you, and we've already done all the preparation. That begins Sfiras HaOmer prepares you that. And following up to Sfiras HaOmer, we say in Shabeach ad la'asiyum. God will be the king of the land. On that day, Hashem will be one, and His name will be one, which is the idea of the Geula, the Inyan V'Hoy Hashem Melech Kol Haaretz Shaykh L'Sfiras HaMalchus, that has a connection to Sfiras HaMalchus, L'Melech Al Kol Inyan of Malchus, U'Befrat Malchus Sheba Malchus. L'Acher Izeh Imrim, and after you say Ach Tzadikim Yoed Lishmecha Yeshu Yishorim Es Benechem. And afterwards say that the tzaddikim, as the pasuk will conclude, thank Hashem. We announced all this publicly in a place in which they raised Torah and raised davening. For sure, that immediately redemption will come. The Malchus, and there will be the wholesomeness of the kingdom Malchus based David. And V'gam Malchus Shal Moshe, also the kingdom of Moshe. And also the Baal Shem Tov, the Chol HaNesim Shel Achro, and all of the Nesim that follow, or the Man Malkei Rabbanan, and also who are the kings of Rabbanan. So this would include the Malchus of the Rabbanan, Chol Zeh Miyad,
This will be all immediately. He did not hold them back, even as the blink of an eye. And from a joy and a good heart, and below 10 tvachim, take it from Biyad Mamish, and immediately, and Biyad Mamish. This is, as we said before, was published that right away is the year in Tavshin Mem Tes after Erev Chag HaShavuos.